Hi, I'm Xia Anderson here with the Red Carpet Report. We are in West Hollywood for the Season 2 premiere of Castle Rock. Have you read any Stephen King, or are you much of a Stephen King fan before this? Movies, books?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Stephen King myself. You know, my dad, when I was a child, used to read me The Langoliers and The Mist to go to sleep.
Wow.
So intense childhood.
How do you choose which stories you tackle and what characters go where?
It's a great, I think part of the problem with adapting Stephen's work is that it's kind of an embarrassment of riches. It's like there's so many amazing characters and stories, and so really the challenge is figuring out which ones of them to narrow it down to on a season-by-season basis. I think that's the hope of Castle Rock, is that we'll get to keep going and get to tell some of these new stories.
I'm very excited to see you portray Annie Wilkes, which is a very iconic character.
I've heard.
Do you feel any sort of pressure to play that character a certain way?
Yeah, my husband was the one that's like, you have to do it. There's no saying no. And he was right. I mean, I didn't actually think I would say no to it, but I knew I would be really scared, and that would be a reason to do it versus not doing it and then just sitting here wondering if I could have pulled it off.
Annie Wilkes was always a character that I wanted to write about, a character whose origin fascinated me. And the same was true of Ace Merrill, played by Paul Sparks, and his story, and sort of trying to understand a little bit more about where he was as an adult and how those two might actually come face to face, and what might happen, what explosive things might happen as a result.
To do it, to bully it up as he did. And I do joke that, I just think about who he was in Stand By Me and just imagine him a grown-up. And what would that person be like? And that's what I tried to sort of emulate.
What is it like coming back to the Stephen King world again?
Well, Castle Rock's a different world than Shawshank is. And it's a testament to Stephen King as a writer, that he writes so effectively in so many different genres, and in horror and deeply human stories like Shawshank and Stand By Me. And, so certain brilliance to him that I think goes unnoticed sometimes. The depth of his talent. I think everyone knows what a great writer he is, but the fact that he's so effective in so many different genres, I think, is pretty special.
Well, I think the essence of Annie Wilkes, and what makes her so terrifying, is that she's not just this one thing. She's not just a straight-up villain. She has so many sides to her. She's kind. She's got a great bedside manner. She's funny and weird and goofy and almost childlike at times. And that, to me, is what makes her fully terrifying.
When we meet her this season, she is, I would say, kind of a super fan of her own daughter. And that is sort of the journey of the season, is watching her obsession with her daughter as it develops and as it kind of demonstrates to us just what she's capable of when it comes to the people that she loves.
But I think a lot of their relationship at its bones is just a typical teen mother, mother-daughter, teenage, whatever you want to call it, relationship. And they're having a lot of inner turmoil that could be solved, but it's really difficult, and it's just, So it's taking that and then taking people I've seen that have lived very sheltered lives, even up until their, early adulthood, and just throwing that into the worst possible circumstances.
That sounds fun. I cannot wait.
But we did draw on, as you do with all of Stephen King. I mean, he's really good about writing a world. That's one of the advantages to having a Castle Rock, where there's all this information about what this place is like, that the people that are churned out, you have a lot to draw on.
What are some characters that you would like to see maybe their story told in some of these seasons?
That's going to be up to them. I'm excited to see what they come up with. Their imaginations are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what happens in this season. It's pretty crazy.
Can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these interviews, be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments what your favorite scary movie is.